Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing Superfly. So Superfly came out in 1972 and was directed by Gordon Parks Jr. and this is a blaxploitation film. So this film stars Ron O'Neal as a drug dealer called Priest, but he wants to get out of this drug business. He's had enough and he thinks he's made enough money, but he wants to do one last deal with his friend Eddie, and he's starting to realise that with this cocaine deal which is coming up, they could end up having $1 million and then they'd be able to exit the drug business and live on that money and essentially just get out of this kind of lifestyle. But in order to do this, he needs to get in contact with this other guy known as Scatter, who is played by Julius Harris. Yeah, Scatter, he is retired from this drug business essentially, but he agrees to do this one last time if it means that it can help out his friend. When I was going into this film, it wasn't a film I was particularly familiar with. I haven't seen many of these blaxploitation films. I have also seen Shaft, which I enjoyed quite a lot. So I thought going into this that it would be quite a similar film to Shaft, and in many ways it is. It's set in New York City in the early 70s. It has a very gritty feel to it, and yeah, I quite like the feel of this film. It has a very similar film to Shaft, and obviously with this lead character, although in Shaft obviously he was a private detective, this one's really a different kind of character because he's involved in these drug deals, which is more the seedier side of the city, I suppose, and yeah, more of the seedier side of the whole crime element as well. One other thing that this film really has going for it is a soundtrack. So the soundtrack is by Curtis Mayfield, and in fact actually Curtis Mayfield actually pops up briefly in this film as well, so we do actually get to see him. And yeah, the song Superfly, the theme tune, is a particularly excellent song, and it's used in this film, and yeah, it's very catchy. It definitely goes with this film very well. It's sort of suits this time period of this early 70s really well. And if you can see next to me, there is a poster of Superfly, and it says he's got a plan to stick it to the man, which really again is an excellent slogan. Yeah, with this poster you can see with the writing on it, the early 70s vibe is really clearly there. Now, in terms of Ron O'Neal's acting, I think he plays his role fairly well. He's not the most likeable character, but we sort of want him to get out of this situation because he's had enough of it, and he does seem to have quite a sort of lavish lifestyle. He has two girlfriends. He seems pretty happy, but at the same time he doesn't like the fact that he's being controlled by these other people, because we later see with this deal taking place that this corrupt police officer is one of the suppliers for this cocaine deal. He essentially says, yes, it's okay, you can deal to me and I won't tell the police about it. But Priest, he really doesn't like this because he feels as though he has a control over him and won't let him escape. If he escapes, he could potentially end up dead. So when it comes to the other actors in this film, I have to admit most of the actors I was not familiar with at all. But in some ways that is quite nice, because when you go into a film not knowing anybody, you can watch it and see them as the characters instead of the actual actors. One of the actors I was familiar with though is Julius Harris, as he later went on to appear in Live and Let Die as one of the villains. And in fact, Live and Let Die came out shortly after this film, and that film actually is also set in New York at one point and has quite a similar blaxploitation theme to it, because during this time, the early 1970s, there were quite a few of these blaxploitation films. There are some things about this film that I wasn't too keen on though. So first of all, we do get some scenes where there's some fight scenes taking place with some fist fights, and I honestly think that they're really terribly filmed. Some of it is done in slow motion, which I understand is done for effect, but then we get the different camera shots. Sometimes it just rapidly changes camera angles and the characters are suddenly in different positions, and it just looks like it was really poorly filmed and not very well thought out, and that did sort of take me out of the experience a bit. And sometimes it is at quite some key moments when we're supposed to pay attention to what is happening, which is a bit of a shame. And I do have to say, although I'm a big fan of the music in this film, there are some bits in this film where it's almost like a music video, where it's just lots of clips which are stuck together of the drug deals taking place, and we just get the music playing over the top. And sometimes these bits do go on for quite a bit too long. It's almost as if you get like 4 or 5 minutes just at once of music playing and all these different clips. And yeah, it almost seems like that I was watching a music video and just footage of drug deals instead of actually watching a movie with interesting characters. But then again, I suppose it's just a montage. It's just the film's way of showing us what is going on, so I can understand what they were trying to achieve. So overall, I think Superfly is a decent blaxploitation film. If I was to compare this to Shaft, I would honestly say that I like Shaft more than this. I found John Shaft to be a more interesting character, although Priest in this film is very good as well. And I think that Ron O'Neal, he does give a great performance. But unfortunately, as I said, there are a few things holding this film back for me, which maybe is a reason why I didn't like it quite as much. But nevertheless, overall, I'm going to give Superfly a rating of 7 out of 10. So if you enjoy blaxploitation movies and you like these sort of gritty 1970s movies, then this is definitely something you will appreciate. So there we go. So that is my review of Superfly. So what do you guys think? Have you seen Superfly? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.